Hi FlossTube, it's Kat from Cross Stitch Chaos. It's been forever since I recorded an actual video, and I'm sorry about that. My life has been crazy. So I've mentioned before in past videos that I'm a driver for Uber and Lyft. I've been driving like so many hours over the last few weeks because my husband and I decided that we want to go on a cruise for our anniversary this year. So we have to get passports and we have to book the cruise and pay for it and all that stuff. So we're going this Saturday to get our passports, which is super exciting. But I've been driving a whole bunch to try to, you know, save up some money for our adventure. So I have a lot of exciting life stuff that's been going on. First off, I want to point out that the shirt that I am wearing, there's a reason for it. I decided, I've mentioned before that I work at Coney Island in Cincinnati, but I really miss working on a big roller coaster. My cat's meowing at me. I miss working on a big roller coaster, so I decided to apply at Kings Island as a second job for the summer. And I was hired, yay! And I was hired to work on Banshee! Yay! So there's Banshee, my shirt right there. It's their invert coaster. It's the longest invert in the world. So I'm very, very excited. All my paper just went over. I'm very, very excited to get to join the Banshee crew and work on it this summer. Something else exciting that happened was I have also mentioned that I'm a photographer, and kind of one of the places that two of my hobbies collide is I love to take pictures of roller coasters. And I was very super excited to open my mail a couple days ago and see the issue of Roller Coaster Magazine, which is the American Coaster Enthusiast publication, with my photo on the cover. That's my picture. Hi Candace. So I got a really nice letter from the editor of Roller Coaster Magazine congratulating me on my cover photo and making sure that I had an extra copy for my archives. But I'm so excited that that is my photo on the cover of a magazine. That's such an amazing honor. There's also two more that were on the inside that are my photos, so that's super, super cool. But oh my god, that's my picture on the cover. That's so cool. So that's what's going on in my life. I'm sure you guys saw my Disney video. If you didn't, go back and watch it. It's called FlossTube Intermission, and I'm deleting the cat. It's called FlossTube Intermission. It's all about my trip to Disney that was now 3 weeks ago. I did a little bit of talking about my stitching at the beginning, and I mentioned that I have a lot of cool stuff to show you guys, which I do. I have it like all stacked up over here. So I'm gonna start with, I received my first random act of kindness, and it came from Angie of Crafty Angie, and she sent me the entire kit. It's all nice and like, she's got it all in little floss away bags and the, you know, the pattern and the fabric and everything. For the pillow version, it's like the companion piece to Beauty and the Beast that I did. So isn't that cool? And she's got it partially started, so I'm gonna try to get that finished because I think that's so pretty. And I've already stitched these guys, so it should be pretty easy. Speaking of that, I'm gonna talk about my finishes. I finished Beauty and the Beast. I finished it, I finished it, I finished it, I finished it. And Candace is gonna knock everything off. Get off. I have to throw something at her. Get. She's knocking everything off. And she's looking at me like, what? I'm just sitting here. So I finished Beauty and the Beast. I took some video of it before I took it to the framer. I haven't gotten it back from the framer yet, not because he's not done with it. He's been done with it for 2 weeks. I haven't had time to go get it. My framer is about an hour away. He's on the north side of Columbus, Ohio, called Frame Makers of Powell. It's a good friend of mine, Dave. He's one of my coaster friends, and he does all of my framing for me. He takes such good care of my work, and he makes it look amazing. So I took it to him before we left for Disney. That tells you how long it's been since I've had it finished. So I took it to him, and he finished it in about a week, and I haven't had time to go pick it up. But I did take some detail videos of it, like laid out after I'd washed it and ironed it and stuff like that. So I'm gonna try to find those videos and put them in right here. So there's Beauty and the Beast. I'm super excited. The frame is gonna be gorgeous. It's water gilt, French water gilt, like hand gilt frame. It's the most expensive frame I've ever put on a piece before, but it deserves it because holy cow, that piece is gorgeous. So other finishes, I mentioned a while back that I was working on some gifts for some friends. Those friends don't follow me on YouTube, so I feel like it's safe to show them. I'll just make sure it's not the preview video. So the first one is, this is for my brother-in-law. I started this last year. It was supposed to be a Christmas present, and I ran out of time. I was within a few days of finishing it, but then I mentioned that I got really badly burned the day after Christmas, and I just didn't want to work on it. I wanted to work on my Heaven and Earth project, so I worked on that instead. Once I was finally feeling better, I finally went back and I finished. So this is a little farm tractor, and it's I think it's an M. Is it an M? Yeah, it's an M. And my brother-in-law Adam has an M. He also has an H and a super H. So, and my husband said that barn in the background, the gray one, looks exactly like their old barn. So I think that's so cool. This has a lot of Kreinik in it. I don't know if you guys can see all of the snow. That is all white with Kreinik metallic in it. So I was putting all of that off, and I was putting off all the back stitching because I hate back stitching. So that's finally finished. This is on 32 count natural linen. It's just cheap linen that I got from Hobby Lobby. Yes, it is serged in rainbow. I serged it with what was in my serger at the time. That's what I always do with my fabric. So sometimes it is kind of silly. So this was serged right after I'd made My Little Pony skirt. So it's like rainbow on one side and pink on the other. So, and some people like to see the backs. There's my back. My backs tend to be really neat. So, but yep, there's Farmwell. It's a Pucker Brush Designs. It's a company that's out of business. I was actually given this, there was somebody in one of the cross stitch groups I'm in. I think it was maybe I cross stitch, I'm not ashamed of it. About a year and a half ago, posted, hey, I've got this pattern, I'm never gonna use it, does anybody want it? I was the first one to reply. So I was really excited to get that because I knew exactly who I wanted to make it for. So that's one of my finishes. So that's 2 finishes. I only had 1 finish in the entirety of 2017 and it was little. So there's 2 finishes already in 2018. And here's a 3rd. This is so exciting. So this is for one of my best friends whose name is Jason. And I know he follows me on Instagram, so I couldn't really share progress pictures of this, but he does not follow me on YouTube, as far as I know. So Jason, if you are watching, stop watching. I'm gonna frame this myself. Like I said, his name is Jason. He's super into horror movies, so of course he loves Friday the 13th. So I made him, and this isn't like the stiffest Ada ever. And this came from Etsy. I can't remember who, but I'll link it in the description. But isn't that the cutest thing ever? It's got like a little Jason mask. It's so cute. There's no back stitching in this, which was fantastic. There was no fractionals. This thing stitched up so fast. So, but look at how stiff this Ada is. It's like cheap Walmart Ada. I don't know, it was something I had in my stash. So those are my finishes. I've got one more that I kind of count towards my finishes because it's a Sal, and I've kept up on it because it's really simple. As far as it's not like there's no fractionals, there's no back stitching, there's no any specialty stitches or anything like that. So I'm able to keep up with it very, very easily. I've got, I started it after the February pattern had been released. I finished January and February within a week, and then I finished March in 2 days. So this one's gonna be super easy for me to keep up on. And is this not the most me thing you've ever seen in your life? It's called Enjoy the Ride. It's by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. And it's amusement park themed. So there's a little Ferris wheel and some tickets and ice cream cone and a balloon. And I don't know what the next one's gonna be. I just hope that somewhere in this thing there's gonna be a roller coaster. I'll be super excited. I love the border on it. I'm just gonna see if you can see that border. I think it reminds me of candy. Not my cat, but like actual candy. Like all the colors in this, they're very yummy. They look like candy. But there was this particular like stick candy that I used to buy all the time at Dollywood that had a very citrusy flavor on it, and it looked exactly like that. So that's what it reminds me of, is that the candy sticks from Dollywood. But this is one of my first, this is only my 2nd time ever working on hand-dyed fabric. This is Hurricane by Under the Sea, so you can see the whole piece there. And this is 28 count even weave opalescent. Like I said, dyed in Hurricane. I can't remember if it's Lugana. I think it's Lugana, but it's opalescent, which is cool. And it's an even weave. And it's so pretty. And I think it is perfect for this piece. So I got this, this fabric from Keepsakes in Cincinnati. Well, it's in Sharonville technically. And I have several people to thank for that. First of all, Buckeye Stitcher, Nicole. She talks about Keepsakes all the time. She always talked about getting her framing done and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. You know, new LNS, I should check that out. And then I started watching Pam and Steph at Just Keep Stitching, and they always talk about Keepsakes. And they always talk about going to Keepsakes and stitching and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, this sounds like a really fun place to go. So I went to Keepsakes. That was dangerous. Holy crap, that place is dangerous. They are the nicest people. Holy cow, they're so nice. I walked in and they were immediately, Lynn was there because Barbara was at market in Nashville. So Lynn was there watching the shop, and it was like I was part of the family. And I met several other people. I know Tiffany's one of the people that I met. Everybody kept saying, oh my gosh, I wish Pam and Steph were here, because apparently I remind them a lot of Steph. I'm not surprised. She reminds me a lot of me too. So, so I'm gonna go back there, hopefully, if not this Friday, then next Friday. Every first Friday, they do a stitch-in late on Friday. So I am definitely going to that for the April stitch-in. I'm gonna try to go this Friday just to hang out, because I wanna meet Pam and Steph. That's my goal. Like, that's one of my goals in life, meet Pam and Steph. So while I was there, I bought I would say a couple things, but that would be a lie. A lot of things. The first thing is something that I first saw on Buckeye Stitcher, Nicole's FlossTube, and it is the Keepsake Stitch Along. It's their salve for this year. It was designed by Sue Hillis, and look at how cute that is. That's the shop. That's the shop right there. And that's the shop's kitty. And the kitty's name is 310. Isn't that the cutest thing ever? The kitty's name is 310. So I think, I don't know if I'm gonna do the whole thing, all the squares on it. They're not, I don't know, they're not really my style so much. I don't tend to do like the sampler style, but I love the house. I love the design of the shop up here. I may just do this and 310. And my roommate slash best friend slash sister wants to do 310 because she loves black cats. So she wants to do like a little ornament of 310. And 310 loved her, by the way. She met me down there, and 310 was like all over her. It was really funny. I was like, she can tell you're a cat person. So something else that I got, by the way, that's also, I think I mentioned that's where I got the Under the Sea for Enjoy the Ride. I also got, this is also a Sue Hillis. It says, yes, I can drive a stick. And I think that's hilarious because my husband likes to make jokes about driving a broom and me driving a broom. And yes, I do drive a stick shift. I've mentioned before, my Camaro is a stick shift. So that, I was laughing so hard. I'm like, this is not normally my styling, and I don't tend to do the simple, more primitive style. I don't know. I just thought this was so funny. So this is the fabric that I got for it. It's a 32 count. It's called Crystal Rosewood. I think this is a picture of this plus. It might be Under the Sea, I'm not sure. But I think that's really pretty. But that's a 32 count linen, also opalescent. So that's gonna go with that. The other fabrics that I bought are part of my, I've got whips on 2 of them that I've already started. And then actually 3 of them, I can't show one of them. I can tell you that the one that I can't show you is on this. So it's on a smaller piece of this, but it's for somebody that follows me on here, so I can't show that one. But this is something that my sister bought. This is Lazy River 28 count Jobelin. I'm really bad at writing down who dyed these. I think this is Under the Sea. I know this one's Under the Sea. This is another one of my sister's purchases. This is Witching Hour. And that's a 28 count linen. That is gorgeous. I mean, look at how beautiful that fabric is. So pretty. I think I'm gonna go back and get some of this also. I've got something that I would like to put on it. And I'll show you that in a minute. So that's my purchases from, well, mine and some of my sister's purchases from Keepsakes, and I'm definitely going back there. And I'm gonna pause to take a drink. This is apple juice, by the way. I have to point out how proud I am of myself. I'm seriously addicted to Mountain Dew. I have not had a Mountain Dew in 3.5 weeks. Kind of proud of myself. I've had Diet Mountain Dew. I've had 3 Diet Mountain Dews. So I'm allowing myself that, but as far as full sugar, regular Mountain Dew, I have not had a single one in 3 weeks. The last time I had one was at Keepsakes because I was running on like an hour of sleep and I needed the caffeine and I wanted the sugar. So also at Keepsakes, they have a box of freebies. So it's stuff that people have brought in that they're, you know, trying to de-stash or get rid of, or it may be like their parents or grandparents or neighbors or something they're trying to get rid of. So there's these, when you go up into the thread room, it's upstairs, one of the rooms, you know, it's an old house, and so each of the rooms has like a different theme, and they have a thread room. Well, in the thread room, underneath the big boxes of DMC, they have baskets full of free stuff. So I picked this one up, Celestial Designs. I think that's pretty. My sister loves Moon and Star stuff, so if she doesn't make one of these, I will make it. And then I picked up Slice of Life, which is a bunch of bookmark patterns. I have several of the like pre-made bookmarks like these that just need stitched, and I don't have anything to put on them because all the bookmark patterns I found online are not the right size. So I got these, and I'm probably gonna stitch the kitty because it's a kitty, and the tiger. So I think that's everything from Keepsakes. Okay, so instead of doing my ridiculous amount of crap I've bought, I'm gonna go to Whips, and then I'll do the ridiculous amount of crap I've bought. I'm gonna start with one that you have seen. Move my drink because that makes me nervous, which is George Washington. On my last Stitch With Me live, I actually started this piece. I've mentioned before, it's panel number 63 of 112, and eventually it is going to be the world's largest cross stitch. And it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's a replica of the painting of George Washington crossing the Delaware. I think everybody's seen that. It's very famous. It's, you know, George Washington standing up there, you know, very proud on the front of the boat as they're rowing across the Delaware. So mine is panel number 63. It's down, it's literally water. I have water, that's all I have. It's very dark. So this is my progress. You cannot, this lighting, it's really cloudy outside, so you can't really tell that there's actually like color changes in it. There we go, now you can kind of see it. So there's more than just dark gray in there. But yeah, that's page 1 of 75, I think. I don't know. No, it's over 100. It's like, I think 102. I'm not on track to finish on time, so I need to do some serious catching up, but it's kind of boring because it's just all dark grays and it's not making a picture. So I'm honestly struggling with it a little bit, but that's okay. I know a lot of people who are way further behind than I am, so I have plenty of time to catch up. It's 5 years. I can sit down and catch up probably over the span of 3 days. I'm not that far behind. I should be finishing my second page right now. So that's, I think, 4 days of stitching to get that page finished. It's just that I haven't been stitching on it. I've been stitching on everything else. Okay, so I think that's the only whip I have made progress on that you have seen. I have not touched any of my Heaven and Earths. I have not really worked on anything else. So I do have some new starts because I had like serious new start-itis. I wanted to finish Beauty and the Beast before I started George Washington. I didn't quite make it. I missed it by 2 days. So I did 2 days of work on George Washington, then I went back and worked on Beauty and the Beast and finished it. So that one's done to counteract the new start of George. And then my new start on Enjoy the Ride, Sal. And I also started, while I was on vacation, I actually started this on the plane. This is The Possibilities. It's a Heaven and Earth. The Evolution Rainbow. Art by Walking Melons. This is like a piece that people went crazy over because somebody had it custom charted, and then they were able to track down the artist and actually license it from her, and now it's available to everybody, which is amazing. So I'm doing this in tent stitch. This is my first time ever tent stitching, and I love how fast it's going. So I'm kind of spoiled now. I'm kind of gonna tent stitch all my hits. So there's my progress so far. It's mostly black. I've got a little bit of green in it right here. You can see there's some green. It's on 28 count navy Lugana from Keepsakes. And like I said, this is tent stitched. I love it. Absolutely love it. I can't believe how fast it's going. That's like 3,000 stitches, and I've only worked on this thing for like 4 days. I worked on this on the plane on the way to Disney. I worked on it one afternoon when we were having like a downtime afternoon. I worked on it on my porch, and then I worked on it on the plane back, and I've worked on it I think 1 day since. So that's like 4 days of progress. That's kind of incredible. Yay, tent stitch. I'm a fan. So there's one whip. And then my other new start, super excited about this one. I started my chatelaine last night. And for those that don't remember, let me grab the picture of it. This is the chatelaine that I'm doing. And that is Polar Mandala. And this whole center section right here is all, it's charted both ways as 2/2 or 1/1 DMC. All these pictures are DMC, and again, they're charted either 2/2 or 1/1. I'm used to stitching Heaven and Earth designs. I did it 1/1. Doesn't scare me. This is my first time doing 1/1 on 32 count. This is a 32 count opalescent Belfast linen and just plain white. Those are like the tiniest stitches ever. Look how small those are. That's 2 rows tall. It's 2 rows. They are so small. So this was my progress last night. That's part of the Northern Lights. What annoyed me is I'm actually missing a color. I'm missing a teal green that apparently Hobby Lobby doesn't carry $38.49. I don't know, it's like on their boxes it goes $38.48, $38.52. Where's $38.49? I don't know. But it goes right here. It's the next stripe. So I gotta go hunt it down. Hopefully Joann's has it. Haven't been to Joann's lately. So there's my chatelaine. I made the grime guard. I think it's pretty. It reminds me of the Northern Lights. So made that last night. I made the grime guards for all of these. So I made the princesses one. This is a super deep one. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen my fail when I tried to make this. I was making it at like 6 in the morning and I hadn't had much sleep. And so for some reason, when I added 8 times 4 plus an inch, I came up with like way more than it needed to be. I think I came up with like 58 inches and it's only supposed to be like 44. So I made one that was big enough for a 12 by 12 and it was like hanging off and I'm like, well, that didn't work. Try again. So there's the actual Disney princesses, because I knew I was gonna be taking this to Disney, so I did it as Disney. It's the princesses. So making grime guards is actually kind of fun. I'm thinking about making them and selling them. We shall see. So this is the other cool thing that I have gotten, which is all the threads for my chatelaine. So that's what they look like in the bag. But these colors are just gorgeous. I'm gonna pull out all these hand dyeds. I've never worked with hand dyed floss before, or silks, and I'm honestly slightly terrified. But these are all the hand dyes. And there's Dinky dyes, there's Caron Wildflowers, there's Gloriana, there's all kinds of, yeah, like I said, I've never worked with these before, so I'm actually a little bit scared of them. I will fully admit that. But the colors are so pretty. And then there's also a whole bunch of Rainbow Gallery threads. Let's see if I can get them out of here. So, like, these are all Silk Lame braids. I had to buy these in like multiple sections because these are not cheap threads. These are not cheap at all. It did not save me any money to order them from an LNS. I will fully admit that. I ordered them from an LNS in Michigan, Homestead Needle Arts. It didn't save me any money to order them from her rather than from a kit. So I think next time I'll just go ahead and get the kit from European Cross Stitch. These are all like treasure braids and some dinky dyes, and oh, look at how pretty those colors are. But I still don't have my beads. I'm gonna have to order the bead pack, but it's another $62, and I just spent $200 and something on all these threads. Like I said, I had to do them in multiple shipments, just because it was a lot of money all at once. So I've still got to order the bead pack, but I think it's going to be a while before I get to any beads because I've still got that huge section of the 1x1, and I think, I know most people do the beads last. I'm probably going to do that also. I haven't decided yet. Depends on when I get my bead pack, I guess. Okay, other things. Let's see. Stash unload. Holy cow. Why did I have to find out about that place? Stash unload and stash unloading cross stitch only are both very, very dangerous to my wallet and my stash. Also, so is Etsy. So I'm going to show you some of the Etsy stuff that I've got that I can't remember if I've shown you guys this or not. But these are some things that I've printed out. So this is Donut Stitch. I've mentioned before that I'm like 4-year-old level obsessed with Frozen. I think I'm going to do that on an opalescent even weave, kind of like my chatelaine is on. And then I need to go back and get more Navy Lugana. Either that or I'm going to get more of that Witching Hour hand dyed, I'm not sure. For this little guy, I'm going to make that for my husband for his classroom because he teaches Earth-Space Science and he will love that. I showed it to him, he was like, that is the cutest thing ever, so definitely making that for him. This is one, I'm going to show it to you really quickly because it's a pattern only. Whoop. Okay, so it says happiness can be found in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light. Quote from Harry Potter, of course. So I haven't decided what I'm going to stitch that on yet. And then I've got a Heaven and Earth in here. I'm going to do this for my husband. This is definitely going on 28 count Lugana. It's definitely going on Navy and it's definitely getting 10 stitched. That is Cries of the Night. He loves wolves and he loves moons and he's gonna like flip out when he sees that. He doesn't know I'm doing that one for him. My husband's easy to surprise because he always forgets when I show him stuff. So I guarantee he won't remember the astronauts. I'm just gonna go to him and he's gonna be like, oh, because he doesn't remember anything I ever tell him. Okay, so last section of this video. I have no idea how long this video is, so. That's what happens when you don't do one for like 2 months. I always thought I was gonna be one of those people that like did a FlossTube every week and I was like, why do people only do them once a month? Oh, because when do I ever have the time? I was doing them like every week because I wasn't working and now I'm working again. So I'm gonna try to do better about doing these once a month, if not sooner. And I'm gonna try to do Stitch With Me's, but I tend to work Friday nights. So I've been doing the Off the Grid needle arts with Caroline. Her Stitch With Me Friday night off the grid party. I try to do it, but honestly I work most Friday nights because it's busy and I make lots of money. And once the Kings Island season starts up, I will be working at Kings Island on Fridays. So we'll see. We'll see when I have time to stitch, let alone do a video. Because I'm gonna be working 2 jobs this summer and probably driving still. Okay, so remember what I said about stash unload being dangerous? Something that I have several finishes of are the Cats by Kelly, which are the little, I don't know if you've ever seen them, they're little black cats. They're like these little guys. Every single one of them has a black cat, just a little tiny bit of color in them. And it's always the cat doing something ornery because they're cats. I have done 3 of these. I did the one that's printer error, where the cat's playing with the printer and it's spewing paper out, and that one actually hangs above my printer. And then I have 2 Christmas ones that I've done. And I've been trying to collect the rest of these. They're out of print now, so they're harder to find. But stash unload, yeah, it's a thing. So I have this one, and that one, and that one, and this one, and that one. And these guys are really easy to stitch on 14 count Aida, all black thread. I have a cone of black. They don't take very long. They're mostly back stitching. I don't mind doing back stitching when it's actually making a picture. It's when you have to go back and re-back stitch something you've already done. So I don't mind these guys. I think they're stupidly cute. So yeah, these guys are gonna definitely get stitched and hang around my house because I love these things. I'm still collecting. There's still a couple of these that I really, really want. There's one where he's in the trash can and his tail looks like a handle. There's one where he's in the kitchen sink. There's one where he's in the laundry room, that basically causing chaos all over the entire house. So if you have any of these and you are looking to part with them, please let me know. I will buy them from you. So other things from Stash Unload. The Irish Blessings chart. Who's this by? Cross My Heart. and I got it for one, where is it? It's this one up here. And it's the old, I've always heard it called the Old Irish Blessing. May the sun shine warm on your face. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm, no, it's may the road rise to meet you. Sorry, it's this one. There's like, they're all slightly different versions of similar verses. But it's may the roads rise to meet you, may the wind be always at your back, may the sun shine warm upon your face, the rains fall soft upon your fields, and until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. That was my wedding blessing. When I was in high school, our choir always sang this at graduation. It was like the farewell from the school was they sang Old Irish Blessing. It's a beautiful, beautiful song. They also sang it at the final choir concert every year. I was not in choir, I was in orchestra, but I always went to the choir concerts. But so they sang this, and then at my wedding, the minister who married us read this, and then our recessional was actually the song being sung. There's a version of it that's exactly like my high school's choir sang it. I'll put a link to the video down here so you can hear it. It's a beautiful song. There's actually a video out there of my high school choir singing it, so I'll link that one. So it was really cool that he read this, and then our recessional was the song. So I love finding things that are the Old Irish Blessing. We have it's like a Celtic cross hanging in our bedroom with the Old Irish Blessing on it. So that's why I got this. I also got this. This is, what's this called? See What You'll Be Missing. And it's by Kyle Hollingsworth. I got it for the dolphins because I love dolphins. I think that's really pretty. I like this one too, but I'm not a sampler person, so, but I love those dolphins playing in the sunset. And then I've got a whole stack here. This is all carousel horses. I love carousel horses. Absolutely love carousel horses. Something that's kind of cool on my necklace, I actually have a little carousel right there. It's hard to see. That's a little carousel. I have always loved carousels. I'm one of those people that, like, I can tell you usually by looking at a carousel who carved it. I can pick out like a PTC carousel versus a Mangelsilians and a Dudsel and things like that. When I was young, I was watching a video. It was on like Discovery Channel or Travel Channel or something like that. And they went to a little park in Pennsylvania called Knoebels, and they were showing their beautiful hand-carved carousel where you could catch the brass ring. It was the first time I'd ever seen something like that. I didn't know about the brass ring. I didn't know about the, you know, the where you could catch, you know, you literally reach out and grab a brass ring about this big. And I have one. I should have brought it over here. I have one. But you catch the brass ring. You know, you reach out and you pull. They're all steel rings, and you just reach out. There's like an arm that comes out that you can reach if you lean to the side off your horse, and you grab the steel ring, and there's one brass ring, and the person who catches the brass ring gets a free ride. And I saw this when I was probably like 12. And then in 2010, my husband and I went to Knoebels for the first time, and I was like, I don't care what we do first, we're riding the carousel. I have to ride this carousel. Because it was like literally like one of those things that I remembered from my childhood was learning about the carousel at Knoebels and catching the brass ring. I caught it on my first ride. I was literally screaming. Like, they usually have to like kind of hunt and figure out who has the brass ring because you're kind of like, oh, it's so cool, look, I got the brass ring. No, I was screaming, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, I was so excited. I caught the brass ring. So I actually have a picture of me holding up my tickets for my free ride and the brass ring on the Knoebels carousel. So like I said, I love carousels. One of the first rides I was ever trained how to run was a 1914 Mangelsilians carousel. I love classic carousel organs. I always get super excited when I come across an organ that works, like Kings Island's does now. The Queen of Kings Island actually works now. I love carousel music. Everything about carousels, I think they're beautiful. I love them. If I see a carousel, I have to ride it. If I don't know who carved it, I have to look it up. By the way, carousels.org has the entire list of like every carousel in the United States. It's a great thing for me to look things up on because I love carousels. So I have Fantasy Ride. How pretty it is. Okay, that one is Lovely Leisure Arts. This is Carousel Dreams by Judy Gibbs. And there's several on here. There's the 3 on the front. And then there's also 3 on the back. So it's actually got some menagerie horses. It's got a zebra. A menagerie just means that there's animals on it. So if you get on a carousel and there's like lions and zebras and stuff like that, in addition to the horses, that's a menagerie carousel. Now you know. The one that I'm probably going to do is this one up here, but I'm going to change its colors. My favorite horses are always the armored horses. I love the black armored horses. I love the black armored horses because at Cedar Point, their former carousel, which was, I think it was a Dunsel, which is now at Dorney Park, the black horse was supposedly haunted, and there's all kinds of legends around this black horse, which is now the original horse is now at the Carousel Museum, or the Merry-Go-Round Museum in Sandusky. So I love the black horses, and what's really cool is the picture of me sitting on the Knoebels carousel with my brass ring. I was on the black armored horse, so I got my horse that time. Okay, so this is Vermilion Stitchery Roses and Ribbons Prancer. That's very pretty. It's full of roses. Roses are my birth month flower because I was born in June. So when I was a kid, my mom bought me a little porcelain carousel horse. They had done a whole series, I forget who she ordered it from, but they had done a whole series of, it was your birthstone and your birth flower. So mine was all in Alexandrine roses, and it was just so pretty, and that it reminds me a lot of that. And then this is called Fun at the Fair, and this was pulled out of the World of Cross Stitch magazine because the lovely Alyssa, who posts on Stash Unload and Stash Unloading all the time, she went through her stash and found all carousel horses for me, and she was like, hey, I've got this thing from the magazine, you want me to just pull the pages out since I know you only want to do the carousel horses? And I was like, yeah, that's great. So there's the, let's see if I can get it to where you can actually see. There's the carousel horses, and they're little cards. So those are cute little quick stitches. I'll probably do all of those and put them all together in like one frame. Sorry about that little glitch there. I ran out of room on my memory card. So this is the last thing I'm going to show you. This video is already pretty long, so but this is the last thing I'm going to show you. This is something that I've been on the hunt for years. I've never found it for less than $100 on eBay. And that's like when you can find it. It's one of those patterns that like you don't see come up very often. So the fact that somebody had this and was willing to sell it to me for the cover price, I was like freaking out. So these are definitely on like high on my list of things to stitch. It's Teresa Wensler's Carousel Horses for All Seasons. And there's of course 4 of them. And they are just the most gorgeous. That's summer. They are just the most gorgeous patterns because it's Teresa Wensler and everything she makes is beautiful. So let's see here. I'm gonna show you the full-size pictures of them. So there's spring. It's so pretty. And you know, of course, Teresa Wensler is known as the queen of the blended needle. So there's gonna be tons of blended floss in there, but that's okay because I've done a Teresa Wensler. They don't scare me. There's summer. All those beautiful flowers around it. I love her use of colors. I'm not usually a pastel person. I usually tend to like really bold colors, but something about the way Teresa Wensler uses the pastels, I just think they're so pretty. Here's fall. And then I think winter is my favorite because it's a black horse and I love black carousel horses, as I've mentioned. I think these are so gorgeous, and I can't believe I own this book now. I'm just like overwhelmed that I actually own Teresa Wensler's Carousel Horses. So I think that's all I have. My ridiculous stack of crap from Stash Unload because I have no self-control. I went on there intending to get rid of stuff. I sold I think 3 things, and then I bought like, you know, all that. Life of cross stitcher. So my plans for the next while is I want to get another page finished on George. I want to make some progress on my chatelaine. I want to get that center DMC section with the Northern Lights. I have it sitting here. I want to get that section right there finished. Oh, I have it sideways. That one. I want to get that finished with the Northern Lights. And then I'm gonna work on my secret project, which I will share with you guys once it's finished and gifted. I'm gonna frame both the Farmall Tractor and Camp Crystal Lake, the Friday the 13th piece for Jason. I'm gonna frame both of those myself. This will be my first foray into self-framing. I'm hoping I can get all the wrinkles out of that ridiculously stiff Ada, because it's so tough. And with that bright red floss in there, I don't wanna risk it running if I wash it. So I've gotta be really careful about wetting it down, but I'm gonna try to get all of the wrinkles out of that one. Like I said, I'm gonna try to make it back down to keepsakes this Friday. I should be picking up Beauty and the Beast tomorrow. So if you follow me on Instagram, if you don't already, it's Cross Stitch Chaos, same as my channel name here. Follow me on Instagram. I'll be posting pictures of it once I pick it up with the frame, so you can see that beautiful water gilt frame that I picked out. And then I've got to figure out where I'm going to hang it up, because it needs to be like a pride of place. It needs a special place to hang in my house. I also got back one of my pieces. Actually, I should show you guys that. Hang on a second. Okay, so I think this was worth going and getting off my wall. I mentioned in my very first video that I have a piece that was missing from my collection because my framer had it. He was fixing the frame. I made this for my mom. I finished it in, I think, 2013. I have the dates written down somewhere, but I finished this in 2013. I gave it to my mom and had it framed. My mom was in a nursing home for 2 years, 2.5 years. It was like 2.5 years. And she passed away last March. This hung in her room. She lived with me for a while. When I lived in Tennessee, this hung in her room there. It hung in her room in the nursing home. It now hangs above my bed. So this is a piece that I made for my mom. My framer was putting the wire back on the back of it. So this was my first full coverage piece. This is Balloon Glow by Dimensions Gold. I'm trying to get there we go, get the glare off of it. So, like I said, it's my first full coverage piece. It took me about 2 years to finish. My mom absolutely loved it. She loved hot air balloons, so I was really glad that she got to enjoy this piece for several years before I lost her, and now it hangs above my bed, reminds me of my mom every night. So I love the frame on it. It's like a weathered wood, white wood. I feel like the colors that we picked out make everything just pop out on the, so much glare. Here we go. I'm really proud of this piece. And this is an anti-glare. You wouldn't be able to tell it because I've got overhead lights on. That's the only reason it's glaring right now. This is an anti-glare glass, so when it's hanging in my room, it looks like it doesn't have glass on it, and I think that's so cool. But so proud of it. I'm so proud of it. I wanted to show you guys that because I finally got it back from the framer. I picked it up the day that I dropped off Beauty and the Beast. So, oh, I have another finish. Oh my gosh. I'm falling apart, guys. I have so much stuff to talk about that I forgot half of it. I have a second FFO. So, 1 second. Okay, so this is something I finished like a long time ago. It was a very impulse piece. This was the first time I ever stitched on hand-dyed fabric. This fabric came from the Stitching Cottage in Beaver Creek, Ohio. I have no idea who dyed it. I remember I walked in and I said, I need something that reminds me of a winter sky. And she found exactly perfect. This came out of a magazine. I have no idea which one. No idea what the pattern's called. I think it was called Snow Kitties. But how cute is he? Oh my god, I love it. I stitched this while I was working on The Castle by Teresa Winsler. I needed a break from it. And so this was a fairly easy stitch. I just think he's so cute. I know he's on, that looks like a 28 count even weave. And it looks like I stitched it 3/2, which is what I usually do on 28 count. But they're just so cute. I love the one that's up on his head. And I love this frame that we picked out. It's got this like little edge of silver here. It just reminds me of a snowy day. And of course no matte because of the hand-dyed fabric. We didn't matte it because we decided to use the... I can't believe how much glare there is on this light because this is like in my house there's no glare on it. There we go. Because this is the anti-glare glass. But again, framed by Dave, Frame Makers Apparel. Shout out, there's his information. if you're not in the area, if you don't have a good framer, I know a lot of people who go to Keepsakes. Their framer is retiring in May. Guys, go see Dave. Seriously, go see Dave. He is worth the drive. If you are not in the area, I bet he would take your piece mailed also. I'm sure that he would be able to handle the shipping. He is so, so talented. And like I said, he's a good friend of mine. I love going up to see him. It's actually really fun to go see him because it always ends up with us going out to dinner afterwards. So last time it was Mexican. We usually go to Schmidt's in the German Village, which is amazing German food, with the family. And I've known the Wetterstrom family for 9 years now. So I've gotten to watch their daughters grow up. They're both in college now. When I first met them, I think their oldest was like 13. So that's really cool that to have the personal connection. I trust Dave with my frames. Obviously, he does beautiful work. He laces the needlework. Everything he does is there's no glue, no cutting, no tape, no anything. Everything is acid-free, archival quality. I know everything that he frames is gonna last. It's gonna outlast me. It's gonna be something that my grandchildren will have, and my great-grandchildren. So all these, like, you know, these huge pieces that I do, like my chatelaine, like Beauty and the Beast, like the Heaven and Earth pieces that are worth keeping around for, you know, hundreds of years. Those frames will last. I trust his frames. I watched him frame my dragon, the castle, the Teresa Winsor castle. I watched him frame that, so I know exactly how the frames are built, so that there's they're not gonna slide, they're not gonna displace, they're not gonna nothing's pressing on the fabric. It's really cool the way he handles it. I know there's a lot of needle workshops in the Columbus area that recommend him, so if you are in Ohio and you're looking for a good framer, again, Frame Makers of Powell, there's his card. They just bought a historic house in downtown Powell. It's, if you're familiar with Columbus at all, it's up near the Columbus Zoo. Instead of turning left to go to the zoo, you turn right and go into downtown Powell, and they're right there across the railroad tracks. And it's a really cool house that was built in the 1800s that they've converted into their shop, and it's just very, very cool. So, but that's my second FFO. Yay! I actually have 2 of them. Got 2 things framed. Woohoo! So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. I'm gonna go work on my chatelaine. I already gave you guys my plans for the next few weeks. I'm gonna be starting training at Kings Island in 2 weeks. I start training at Coney Island in 1 month. So I'm gonna try to get a video in before Coney starts back, so that I have a little bit more free time, because Kings Island's only on weekends. And then hopefully I'll have made some good progress on some different things. I can't wait to get into the specialty stitches on the chatelaine. My goal with that piece is to have it finished before fair season next year. This year I'm going to be entering Beauty and the Beast into the Montgomery County Fair. And next year I'm going to enter my chatelaine. So I've never entered a cross-stitch piece into the fair. I've entered, well, yeah, I have. As a high school student I did. There was a like junior division that I entered a cross-stitch piece into, which Dave currently has because it's getting reframed. And I won, I believe that one won a best, it wasn't a best of show, but it was a first in category. And it was a Girl Scout piece that I made for my Girl Scout Silver Award. I don't think I showed you guys that one, because I think Dave's had that for a while. But the original frame, I actually had a pin on there, the pin of the Silver Award, and the original frame didn't have any spacing in it, so the glass was touching that pin, and that pin has since tarnished, and it's actually bowing the frame from where it's pushing on the glass. So he's reframing that for me, so that it will be framed correctly, and will be able to last for a long time, because that piece is now almost 20 years old. So looking forward to getting that back from him. That'll probably be probably not next video, but maybe the one after that, because that was just a kind of on his own time, and I know he's been super busy, so that was not a priority piece to work on, whereas Beauty and the Beast definitely was. So I am gonna, but anyway, like I was gonna say, I haven't entered anything in the fair as an adult. I know there are a lot of stitchers who do enter stuff in the fair. It's something a lot of people do to bring attention to the craft, and also because if people don't enter, they won't continue to offer those competitions. And so I want to, I haven't been to the Montgomery County Fair. I went to the Greene County Fair, which is the neighboring county, the county I grew up in. I went to it a couple years ago, and I actually looked at all the pieces that were there, and none of them were, they're all very small. They were all, none of them were like super big. They didn't have a lot of the specialty stitches or anything like that. So I really feel like I want to take my pieces that I feel like are showstoppers, to show that what you can do with cross stitch. I've also thought about entering Balloon Glow, the one that I showed a little while ago. I haven't decided on that one because I don't know if I want to let it out of my hands for that long, because that's my mom's. But my grandma also wants to put some stuff in the fair this year, so I've been helping her go through her framed pieces and decide what she wants to enter, because she's got a lot of cool needlework pieces that she's done, or needlepoint pieces. She's also got a lot of her old cross stitch pieces, and she's done stuff with like crazy amounts of specialty stitches in it. So I'm helping her pick out like 2 or 3 pieces that she wants to send to the fair. So that'll be a lot of fun. So I'm gonna sign off because now I'm rambling. I do that a lot. I'm gonna go back to drinking my apple juice and not my Mountain Dew. Woohoo! I'm really proud of that I've never gone this long without a Mountain Dew. I stopped drinking regular pop a week after I stopped drinking Mountain Dew. I drank Sprite while we were at Disney, to break the caffeine addiction, because I had a really, really bad caffeine addiction. I couldn't go more than about 36 hours without getting a really bad caffeine headache. So I broke the caffeine addiction while we were at Disney. I was drinking Sprite, and then when I got home I said no more regular pop, and I haven't had one since. So 2.5 weeks on regular pop, 3.5 weeks on Mountain Dew. So I'm really proud of myself on that one. I've been drinking just juice and water and lemonade and things like that. So I'm kind of proud of that. So I'm gonna see you guys hopefully in 2 or 3 weeks, kind of when I have something good to show you. And as always, you can find me on Instagram, Cross Stitch Chaos. You can find me on Etsy, Katie Liz Photo. I sell prints of my work. And I'm gonna be setting up a shop to sell grime guards and needle minders. I don't know that I'm gonna do it on Etsy because I don't like how much of a percentage they take, and I feel like it wouldn't be worth my time for the price that I'd like. And also they're really particular about licensed character fabric. So I think I'm gonna set up a private website for my grime guards and needle minders, and it'll just be, because like I don't know how to set it up where I wouldn't have to pay for every listing for every single one that I would do. I don't know the best way to set that up. So I really think I'm gonna stay away from Etsy for those. In the meantime, if you have any requests for grime guards, let me know. Like I said, I'll sell them. I'm selling them. So I don't have a whole lot of inventory built up, but I'm gonna start working on that. I don't know when. I don't know when I'm gonna have the time. I'm lucky to find time to stitch. Oh, I went back to college. I went back to school. I'm taking 2 classes this semester. I'm doing an 8-week, it's like a half semester term with 2 classes to get them over faster. So instead of doing 1 week's worth of work, you do 2 weeks worth of work. So this is the 3rd week of 8. I'm doing great so far. I'm really excited about it. These are my last 2 classes to get my associate's degree. And then in the fall, hopefully I will be working towards finishing my bachelor's degree. So that's really exciting considering that I'm 32. I have been in college most of my adult life. I have 1 associate's degree. I am very close to a bachelor's degree. I really want to get it finished. So wish me luck on that. I actually am going to go do homework here in a little while because I like to get it done early. It's not usually due until Sunday. I like to get it done Wednesday or Thursday, and then I don't have to worry about it when I'm driving over the weekend. So I will see you guys on my next video. Bye.